Good morning, kids. My name's Terry Hedges. We are going to learn some magic today. Are you excited? Good. Well, you're going to need a few things. I'm going to show you the tricks and then I'll explain them and teach you how to do them. You are going to need a few things to do that. Number one, a deck of cards. It really can be any deck of cards. It doesn't have to be the same color as mine, the same size as mine. Any deck of cards will work. So you'll need one of those. And then the second thing you will need is a coin. Could be any coin. Could be a penny, a dime. This is a 50-cent piece, half a dollar, but maybe a quarter even would be a great thing for you guys. So find you one of those. Then the other thing is a couple of rubber bands. Now, you don't have to have bright yellow ones, but make sure they're more like this, like the thin kind. Sometimes you'll find ones that are big and fat and wide. Those won't work. Those will not work at all. So you'll need to find some that are more skinny like this. And what would be best is if you could actually double them over and put them around your fingers. If it fits you pretty well like this, that's probably the best rubber band for you. So find you a couple of those. And then the last thing is a pencil. Pencils be best if you have a pen that's like around this way. That would work too. But a pencil, just a regular one, and one that's got some writing on one side. That would be great too, although mine may not just have writing on one side. So I tell you what, I'm going to give you a chance to hit pause and go find these objects, and then I will show you some magic and then teach you how to do it. All right, well, let me clear away some of these things and we'll get started. I want to show you a card trick. Now, I will tell you, this is one of my favorites because it shows how good you are at doing magic. Now, you're going to give me just a second to make sure I've got the cards with me. I was doing a show last night and I had to give some cards away. So I might have to use some different cards. I think, yeah, I've got everything I need for this. I think we'll be good. Great. All right. So I want to show you a trick that uses two cards, the red 8 and the red 9. Now I want you to watch me carefully. I'm going to take that red 8 and red 9 and we're going to place it into the deck in two different spots. So you can see they're going in the middle. That's very important. And now I want you to watch me carefully as I push the cards all the way in. And I'm going to square them up into the middle of the deck. Now watch. I'm going to try to find those cards very, very quickly. Now you might not think, Terry, can you possibly find those cards very fast? Well, I'll do it without even looking. In fact, I'll do it in 1 second. Are you ready? All you have to do is count 1001, and just like that, the red 8 and the red 9. Pretty good? Want to learn? All right. Make sure you've got your cards. Hit pause if you need to. Come on back, and I'll teach you how to do it. You're back already? Okay. Well, you're wanting to know about the famous red 8 and red 9 trick. Here it is. What you might not remember or realize is that there's actually two sets of 8s and 9s that are red in the deck of cards. You've got hearts and you've got diamonds. And so you have two different sets. And what you do is you take and you put the two different pairs together that are mismatched. So one heart and one diamond, and then another diamond and another heart. So a red 8 and a red 9, just not the same suit. And you'll have two different pairs. Okay? Now, you take one of those pairs and you put one on the top and one on the bottom of the deck. Then, take your other pair and lay it on top. Pretty easy so far, right? Okay. Now, you're going to tell the person you're performing for. Now, make sure you do this before you show the trick to anybody. I kind of had to do it right in front of you, but I've been doing this about 30 years. So when you do it Do it when you're in another room. Find your red 6 or your red 8 and your red 9 and get them all set up. Then simply push off the top 2 cards and say, I want to show you a trick with the red 8 and red 9. Now you're not going to mention what their suits are. You're not going to say the 9 of diamonds and the 8 of hearts. You're simply going to say the red 8 and the red 9. And you're also going to hold them and kind of what we call squiggle them around briefly. Okay? So about this long. I want to show you a trick with the red 8 and the red 9. Only about that long. They just need to see that it's a red 8 and red 9. Now you're going to take that pair and you're going to lose them anywhere in the middle. It doesn't matter. Kind of spread the cards out so they can see that they're really going into the middle. Then you're going to press those cards in all the way. And this is just kind of building up the suspense. And then close the cards and square them all up. Now, your second pair of 8s and 9s, red ones, are one on the bottom and one on the top. But your spectator doesn't know that. And so what you're going to do is you're going to hold the cards with your fingers underneath and your thumb on top. Now this part's going to take some practice because you're going to throw the cards from one hand to the other, and it might work better for you to go from left to right or maybe from right to left. It's completely up to you what works best for you. And all you're going to do is you're going to let your thumb kind of hold on to that top card, kind of squeeze it a little bit, and your fingers will squeeze against the bottom card a little bit, and all the other cards are going to squirt out into your other hand. Now, you want to work on this to do it as fast as you can, so you can't tell that they're coming from the top and the bottom. So the count of 1, 2. And if you do it that quickly, you can't really see where those cards are coming from. It looks as though you actually pulled out that original pair of 8 and 9 from the very middle. And your spectators should be quite impressed. That is the magic red 8 and red 9 trick. Hope you enjoyed it. Well, let's try something else. We're going to try a trick with a pencil. Did you bring a pencil with you today? No? Well, I have one with me. Now, this is an odd pencil. Can you guys see that there's writing on the pencil? Now, a lot of people don't know this, but the little number 2 tells you how dark the pencil is going to write. It's called a number 2 pencil because of the kind of lead or graphite that's in the pencil. And for this one, this is a pencil that actually has writing on both sides. Can you see that? The 2 pencil on this side and the 2 pencil on this side. Now what's neat is you can actually take and pull off the writing from the one side, and I can kind of hang it right up here in the air. Now the odd thing is when you pull it off of one side, it automatically comes off of the other side as well. Now the problem is if you have a pencil with no writing to tell you what kind of pencil it is, you might get confused. So it might be good to take that writing and stick it back on the pencil. And of course now that it's on this side and this side again. But you know what? I'm thinking probably one side's just enough. So I tell you what, let's just take it off of this side and let's actually leave it on to this side. And that way, you won't be taking up too much of your pencil with the writing. Did you like that one? Come on back and I will teach you how to do it. All right, it's time for the trick with the number 2 pencil. Do you have a pencil with you or a pen? All right. Well, what I want you to do is notice that on this pencil or pen that there's writing on one side only. There's actually no writing on the other side at all, just the one time. Okay? That's what makes this possible. If you have writing all over the place on the pen, probably not going to work, but most pens and pencils are this way. Okay? Now, I'm going to teach you the secret move. There is a secret move in this trick. And what it is your thumb and your fingers are simply going to roll the pencil over like that to where the writing is on the very back. So just like this. Okay? Now, this action of my thumb and fingers rolling the pencil over is an action that if you're staring right at it, you can see me do it. It's very apparent, very obvious. So, when we use that move, we're going to cover it with another move, a bigger move. Whenever you're learning magic, one of the things to remember is that the bigger move hides the smaller move. Okay? So here's the bigger move. We're going to turn our whole wrist over. That's a bigger move. Okay? And so we're going to learn to do this move at the same time that we do this move. And so I'm going to show it on this side. As I turn my wrist, I'm going to do the move with my thumb. And now it looks as though the writing is on both sides. But it's because as I'm turning my wrist, I'm revolving the pencil. So at the very beginning, you say, look, there's writing on the pencil. In fact, it's not just on this side, it's on this side. And as you turn your wrist, you're rolling the pencil over. And you do that in both directions. So you're going to learn to do this move. This is what really makes this particular trick possible, is learning as you turn the wrist to roll the pencil at the same time. Okay? Practice on that a little while until you get it to where it looks like you're just turning the pencil over. You might even hit pause and work on that just a little bit. Back already? Okay. So, we're going to show both sides by doing the move. And now, I'm going to cover me doing that secret move with another bigger move, and that's me reaching up to grab the outside of the pencil. So as I reach up to grab, the eyes of your audience are going to watch this hand move. At the same time you're doing this, you're going to turn the pencil over. So it looks like this. And now it looks like you pull the ink off of the pencil. And now you can do exactly the same thing when you turn your hand back. You're rolling at the opposite direction now and showing that the ink comes off of both sides. Doing the same move you did earlier, now showing blank instead of ink. And then you can reach up and grab it and reach to put it on again. And you're doing the same move again. As you reach up, you're simply rolling the pencil over at the same time you grab. Okay? And then for the very last one, if you want to, you can reach up and grab here and pull that off and now show that the ink is just on one side. And now your pencil's normal. You can hand it to your spectator and they can check it out. There's nothing to find, and they'll wonder how you did it. Now make sure you practice on this one. This one's a little difficult, and you want to get it really, really well before you show it to anybody. Okay? All right, come on back. I'll show you we'll do a money trick next. All right, are you guys ready to see a money trick? Great. I left my, right over here. I forgot to, wait. There it is. So sorry. I think the problem is that you probably can't see that, guys, because I'm going to need to warm it up a little bit. I think that probably will be a little easier to see. Can you guys see that now? Good. All right. So this is the vanishing money trick. All right? So a lot of people don't know this, but you can actually make a coin disappear by rubbing it into your elbow. Have you ever heard this before? Yes, not many people know this. So what you do is you take the coin, and again, it doesn't have to be as big as this one. This one might not fit quite as well into your elbow as it does into mine. So maybe a penny for you, or a dime, maybe a nickel or a quarter. So you take it, and you have to rub it into your elbow. I would suggest the left elbow if you're right-handed. That's usually the best one. If you're left-handed, might be the right elbow, okay? So you take it and you rub it into the elbow. Now you have to do it oh dear, excuse me just a minute. Sometimes it doesn't go in the first time, all right? So you take and you rub it right on the very, oh, so sorry. Again, sometimes not always the first time. So you rub. Oh, I found the spot. I think it's right there. And just like that, it goes into the elbow. Now, how to get it back, I have no idea, but you'll always have some sense wherever you go. Would you like to learn how? Great. Come on back, I will teach you the secret to this. All right, now, get your coin. Let me see. I've got mine right here. Okay, so here's the secret to making the coin go into the elbow and completely disappear. So take your coin, whatever coin it is, and you're going to practice doing this. Picking it up from your other hand and holding it up like this. So it's flat against your fingers, okay? You don't want to hold it like this. You want to hold it like this, okay? All right, so you're going to practice seeing what it looks like to pick up a coin and hold it like this, hidden behind your fingers, and gesture with it, okay? Do this several times, over and over again, to see what it looks like. You can watch yourself in a mirror and see what it looks like. And now, after you've done that several times, now you're going to do this. You're going to take the coin, you're going to pick it up the same way, except this time, you don't actually pick the coin up. It still stays in your hand. Okay? And the reason you practice doing it for real is because you want the second time you do it to look exactly the same. So, I'll teach you the secret. You want to place the same 3 fingers on top of the coin as you did when you were really picking it up. You want your thumb to go behind it, just like you did when you were picking it up. But this time, I'll see if I can do it where you can see. You reach down and you act as though you pick it up. It should look exactly the same with this hand. Okay? So I'll do it from this side, and it looks like I pick it up. I'll do it from this side, and you see it looks like I'm picking it up. The difference is that this hand turns down a little bit so that all you can see is this hand. And this hand just rests with the coin right here, what magicians call finger palm. And it's just resting there. And your hand just kind of turns a little bit. Okay? Pretty simple. But it takes practice. All right? So now you want to work on this part until it looks the same as when you're actually taking it. So this should look the same as this. Okay? All right. So now, once you've worked on that, now comes the acting. All right? So you're always going to pick the coin up from the table in the same way. So you say, I want to show you a trick where I can make a coin actually disappear into my elbow. Okay? Pick it up with your left hand. Pick it up with your right. The first time you do it for real. And then you take and you place this hand on the back of your neck, showing your elbow, and take the coin and start rubbing it onto your elbow. Now you're going to rub it lightly and allow it to work its way down into your hand where it gets close to the edge and it falls out. Act as though it's an accident. Again, pick it up the same way with your left hand, Then taking it with your right hand, doing the same thing once more, rubbing it on the elbow, letting it fall out as though it's an accident. Now this time, the third time, you do what looks like the same thing. You pick it up with your left, place it in your right, but this time you actually leave the coin behind. But they won't know that. It'll seem exactly the same as before. So, pick it up with the right, and now you place this hand exactly where it was before on the back of your neck. You put this hand on your elbow, start rubbing, and now you're going to leave the quarter or the penny or the dime or whatever you're using. You're just going to leave it on the back of your neck, or if you happen to have a dress shirt on like me, you can put it right inside your collar, and it'll stay right there. And you just let it be there as you start rubbing. And once the coin is there, and it's going to stay there for you, now you're going to say, oh, I think I feel it going, and move this hand away and say, watch. And now it looks as though the coin vanishes into your elbow and there's nothing to see. And that's how you do the vanishing coin trick. Oh my goodness, you seem like you're already ready for another trick. Okay, let's do one more. We're going to do a trick called the Fabulous Jumping Rubber Band. Do you guys have your rubber bands? Okay, if you don't, hit pause, go and find you some rubber bands. Remember, they don't have to be the same color as mine, but they do need to be kind of skinny like mine. So if you don't have them, hit pause, go find them, come back. I'll wait. Wow, that was fast. Okay, so I'm going to show you the Fabulous Jumping Rubber Band. Now, I want to show you this by telling you a story. A long time ago, more than 100 years ago, there was a very famous magician. His name was Harry Houdini. You might have heard of him before. He was probably one of the most famous magicians that ever lived. Now, if you do some study, maybe at the library, and you look into his life, you'll find that Harry was an okay magician, but what he was really well known for was being able to escape from things. You could tie him up with ropes, he could get out. You could put handcuffs on him, he could get out. They actually put him in boxes, somehow he'd get out. In fact, one of the famous things he would do, he would travel all around the country, and he would allow the police of whatever city he was in to put him in a jail cell in their jail, and then he would get out. I thought you might like to maybe see a demonstration of what that might look like. So let's say that this rubber band is going to represent Harry Houdini. He's been on a diet. And we are going to take and place Harry in a jail cell. We'll let my fingers represent the bars of the cell. And then, you know what? They would lock him in. So let's tell you what, let's use the other rubber band to lock him in. Now you guys can see very clearly there is no way for Harry to get out. You've got the fingers, you've got the lock, nothing he can do. So sometimes Harry, instead of actually escaping, just to really confuse the policeman, he would jump from one jail cell all the way across to the other jail cell. Did you guys see that? I tell you what, I'll show you one more time. He'll jump from one jail cell over to the other jail cell. Just like so. You guys want to know how this works? You seem excited. Would you believe me if I told you that the way this works is I have holes in my fingers that allow the rubber bands to pass across? You're not buying that. You're right. No, actually there's holes in the rubber bands. Did you see the holes? You didn't see them? They're right in the middle. See the big hole right there? Okay, that's another joke. All right, if you really want to learn, grab your rubber bands. We're going to set one of the rubber bands down for right now. Don't worry about that one. You just need one for right now. Put the other one down, okay? Now, take the rubber band that you have. I want you to hold up, let's say if you're right-handed, do this with your right hand. If you're left-handed, do it with your left hand. I'm going to demonstrate with my right because I'm right-handed. So you're going to take the rubber band and you're going to place it around your fingers like this. Okay? So I doubled it up into a double loop. And all you have to do is grab it like this, give it one twist, and then put both loops together, and then put that around your fingers. Or you can simply put the rubber band around the two fingers, and then give it a twist, and then put that around. Either way works fine. So you should have one rubber band doubled over around two fingers. Okay? Now, the other fingers for your left hand is going to come up and grab both of the strands of the rubber band, both of them, and pull it across like so. Okay? Now, everything's going to stay still. This hand, these fingers, and the rubber band, everything's going to stay still, except your right hand is going to turn around to where your palm is facing you. Okay? So just like so, and then this hand just turns around. So the rubber band is still on this side of your pinky. The pinky doesn't go underneath, don't do that. The other fingers don't go underneath, don't do that. It just turns around and everything stays on the same side. And now here's the secret. Behind my hand, what they can't see is as I let go with my left hand, these fingers sneak inside the rubber band, and I let it go, and it stays on my fingernails. But from this side, it looks like it's just wrapped around two fingers. But from the back, you see it's actually around all the fingers. Okay? So I'm going to open my hand just a little bit so you can see the rubber band comes around, goes through those two fingers, and then actually is around all of them in the back. But remember, leave them on your fingernails and keep your hand like this so they can see only around these two. Okay? And now you're going to make the rubber band jump from these two fingers over to these two fingers by simply opening your hand and pushing all of your fingers through the rubber band, and it jumps over to the other two. Let me do it again. One rubber band doubled over, grab the two strands, pull it out. This hand turns around, and from your side, it looks like this. All the fingers sneak inside, you let it go, and now you simply open the fingers up, and it jumps over to this side. That's the secret to this trick. The story helps make the trick seem a lot bigger and a lot more enjoyable and exciting, I should say. And so you can add the story or you can do simply this trick. Now, I've actually learned to make the rubber band go back using only one hand. So this is much more difficult. You'll definitely have to work on this part, but I can pick up the rubber band strands with just my thumb, and I can do the same thing behind my hand, placing those across the fingertips with just my thumb. But that took a lot of work to learn. And now I can make the rubber band jump back to the other side. Now you would think that this would be much more difficult to do adding the other rubber band in. It's really not. It's actually exactly the same. No harder, no easier. So you're going to have the rubber band doubled around those two fingers. Then you take and you're going to place the rubber band over the top of one, give it a twist, put it over the top of another one, give it a twist, over top of the third one, give it a twist, and then leave it on your fourth one. So now there's a little X in between each of your fingers, and you call this the lock. And it would seem that the rubber band now can't really go anywhere. It doesn't seem like there's any possibility you should be able to take it off and stick it back on. See, the secret is it doesn't actually come off. It just rolls over like that. Okay? So it works exactly the same way. You pull the 2 strands of the one rubber band here. You turn your hand around. What happens behind? Again, the fingers come in. You leave that on the fingernails. Doesn't look that way from the front, but from the back. And then you're going to open those fingers, and the rubber band jumps across just like that. And again, you can make it go back, again, probably with a lot of practice, and it looks as though it jumps from here over to there, just like that. And that's the famous jumping rubber band. Well, guys, I hope you have enjoyed it. That is our teaching segment for the Public Library, Franklin. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Practice, practice, practice. Don't take these and only practice a couple of times and go out and try to show it and think it's going to fool anybody. You want to entertain them as well as fool them. And to do that, you need to practice until it looks its best. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you have, if you want any other, if you perhaps would like to see a magic show at your house, or maybe you'd like to learn some more magic, please, you can send me an email at magic@terryhedges.com. And I've got DVDs that teach other magic tricks that you can find. And you can also find out how to have a magic show maybe for your birthday or something else special that's going on with your family. Blessings.